Salah Ahmed Jama is the Deputy Prime Minister of Somalia.
The case we have been making in the various forums that we attended is for countries that are going through debt stress, going through the HIPC initiative, that is the debt relief process, recovering from conflict, fighting off terrorist groups like Al-Shabaab. Climate change acts as a threat multiplier. It increases vulnerabilities and deteriorates situations. So there should be funds in place to attend to such peculiar cases. And I think it has been argued in some of the forums that the blind spot of climate financing and adaptation to climate change is the lack of focus on countries that are faced with multiple threats prior to climate change and are more vulnerable to climate change shocks. And mind you, places like Somalia have a great potential to not only be a recipient of funds, but also a part of the solution to climate change. We have a long coastline, over 3,300 kilometers. We have abundant fish of various types and genres. We have livestock, over 60 million livestock, arable land. But we need the resources to invest in those particular sectors that can help us. We even have the potential to establish a new electrical grids and a renewable energy approach rather than focusing on heavy fossil fuels.
Let's talk about those fossil fuels, because the African group of negotiators have called for different pathways on fossil fuels, with developing countries, like some in Africa, being allowed to expand their use rather than roll them back. Do you think that's a fair way of doing things?
You know, one of the key principles of the Paris Agreement was the principle of common challenge, a collective challenge, and differentiated responsibility in terms of capabilities. You know, in countries like Somalia and Africa, who have the potential to explore oil and other energy sources, I think we have to treat them in a very particular ways. And African countries, it is not about transitioning to greener energy and production means. It is also about development. As you know, many African countries are facing severe challenges in terms of attaining sustainable development goals: zero hunger, health, human capital development, economic growth. It is about development more than it's about just transition. In the case of countries like Somalia and other African countries that produce oil, yes, would like to see a more nuanced approach to that transition.
What would Somalia like to see emerge from this year's COP?
Well, we expect as Somalis, you know, we are going through the debt relief process. We're fighting off Al-Shabaab. We're trying to grow our economy. We have a robust national development plan. We are trying to invest in our sectors, from agriculture to livestock. We're trying to invest in fisheries, where we could actually earn a lot of resources and create more jobs in the fisheries sector, which is highly underperforming currently in Somalia. We would like to see international community to give special attention to places like Somalia and countries in the Sahel that are facing more dire situations than others.